On today's episode, we're talking about your favorite and least favorite projects delivering in 2016.
Crowdfund Genius Take 1.
Welcome back to another episode of CrowdFund Genius Live. I'm your host, ZACBOB. Make sure you're checking out our podcasts on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Snapchat, and definitely make sure you're following us on Twitter at CrowdFund Genius. And if you have any crowdfunding questions, send us a tweet. Also, make sure you jump over and follow us on Instagram. Why? Because we're doing a bunch of video content that we're producing and we're putting it out through our channels on Twitter and Instagram as well as Snapchat. So make sure you're following us on all the social media channels. If you have crowdfunding questions, hit us up anywhere. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, comment section, anywhere. Send us a crowdfunding question and we'll go ahead and answer it right here on the show. All right, let's jump into today's question.
At Kowal's asked via Reddit, which funded Kickstarter project to be delivered in 2016 are you most hyped about? Which one do you fear the most?
Wow, I like this question. I can name several that I fear. All right, the one I'm most hyped about, it's so early, you know. I mean, as far as 2016 is concerned, I mean, I didn't back a lot of campaigns in 2015, but I backed a few, but most of them have already delivered. As far as what campaign am I excited to see delivered, I could say I'm excited to see Splash Drone's delivery, the first waterproof drone that could take off and land on water. I'm also, shameless plug right here, I'm also excited to see Jared and Kamanzi's book. If you're not familiar with it, make sure you check it out on Kickstarter. Jared is a founder of Podcast Movement. And as a podcaster, I'm really big on Podcast Movement. It's a huge conference. And if you're thinking about getting into podcasting, make sure you check him out. But Jared is one of the co-founders of Podcast Movement. And Kamanzi's just an awesome dude, man. He's a writer. He writes for Huffington Post, Entrepreneur Magazine, The Good Men Project. And they've come together and they've wrote a book. It's called Stop Chasing Influencers. And what this book is about, and it's delivering this year in 2016, their campaign's still live if you want to back them on Kickstarter. But what their book is about, they're going to tell you how to become a writer. If you want to be a writer, if you want to write for large publications, if you want to write a novel, if you want to write a book, they're going to teach you how to do that. They're going to teach you what social media channels you should be using. They're going to teach you how to become a paid speaker. All of this is inside the book. Plus, they got several courses that go along with the book. So make sure you check them out on Kickstarter. It's called Stop Chasing Influencers, a Kamanzi and Jared book. I'm excited for its delivery in 2016 because I really do think it's going to change a lot of lives. It's going to help a lot of people. And for all of you that are trying to get a side hustle going, or you're trying to figure out a side job, or maybe you're still stuck in that daily grind and you're trying to work your way into a full-time entrepreneurship gig, make sure you read this book, Stop Chasing Influencers. So I'm super excited for that book to deliver. As far as what do I fear, I'm gonna have to say Coolest Cooler. I've been a big guy on Coolest Cooler. I really love their story. I mean, it's a crowdfunding comeback story, which is our other podcast on iTunes, Crowdfunding Comebacks. But it's a crowdfunding comeback story where he failed the first time around, and then the second time around he blew it out of the water. So it's a story that I go to a lot. I like to talk about a lot whenever it comes to talking to people new that aren't familiar with crowdfunding or are scared of maybe failing the first time around. But from what I'm reading, I mean, this is all hearsay, or I'm assuming this is all hearsay. I don't know the facts personally myself. I haven't talked to Ryan, but I know that they're having some trouble with the blender, and they had to go to Amazon to fulfill some orders. That way they could have enough money to actually fulfill orders to their backers, which upset a lot of different backers because that they were selling on Amazon before even delivering all their orders to their original backers. So I think you got to just kind of take a look at this and take it as a lesson. I mean, if you're crowdfunding something as big and complex as the Coolest Cooler, with the blender and the Bluetooth and everything that's involved in it, one, you want to make sure that's a high end and it's quality product that works well. I'm sure Ryan's going to try to make it to get it to that point where it's that quality product that is going to work great for you. But at the same time, not being able to fulfill to your backers, that's a big deal. And that's a big deal in crowdfunding. I mean, the Kickstarter fulfillment report just came out, and they said like 9% of a crowdfunding campaigns fail to deliver. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, if you had $150 billion go through your platform last year, actually, I don't think that's correct, 150. If you had $1.5 billion go through your platform last year, and 9% of them are unable to fulfill on those orders, that's not really great numbers. But hopefully we can improve this with some education and letting you guys know that, hey, plan this out, plan your rewards out, find out how much it costs exactly to deliver to every single country on your list. If you can't pay for shipping, don't offer shipping. Make sure in your rewards you're saying, hey, shipping's not included. It's probably going to cost X amount of dollars for your shipping on top of your pledge amount. Other things you could do is, one, make sure your product is working and it's going to work. And also, when you're picking a manufacturer, make sure that they can do a larger order than what you're expecting. Because you never know, you might end up like Coolest Cooler with 62,000 different backers. So you're gonna have to fulfill 62,000 orders from 0 to 62,000, and that's huge. So make sure you're staying on top of that. As far as our question of the day, down in the comments section, go ahead and let us know. Did you back Coolest Cooler? Are you one of those 62,000 that back Coolest Cooler? How do you guys feel about the fact that he's selling on Amazon before fulfilling his orders to his backers? Me personally, I think if that's what he's got to do, he's doing what he's got to do to deliver the order, so I don't hate him for that. But let me know what you think down in the comments section. Happy crowdfunding. ZACBOB out.